Yes, ma'am.
No, it's a single family home.
You can't, because you can't buy it.
1,784 square feet, 3 beds, 1.5 baths, full basement. Every house in Berwick is basically a ranch.
Every time I do
That's
this,
just kind of how they are down there.
now.
I found it was through direct mail. We send out multiple letters over a year or two to these types of homeowners. They responded on the 4th letter. I think it was about 6 months after our first letter. Followed up, he wasn't ready to sell at that point. Called every 2 weeks for I don't even know how long, a couple months. He's going through an insurance claim. He didn't really know what he needed to do. But his continued followed up, and I think about 6 months after our first contact, and we actually ended up buying the house. So he said he had multiple offers on it. I'm sure everyone was sending him letters because the house was in pretty bad condition. So we got an opportunity to walk through it. Gave him an offer with no contingencies. And he said he was going with us. So we closed it 7 days after we signed the contract and started the rehab. That's before it obviously needed a roof. There's water all over the inside of the house. Windows need painted. A lot of work. Funded it. So last year we did 20 rehabs. This year is supposed to do a lot more. But we fund everything through private money. We use hard money one time. But we pay anywhere from 8-16% interest, depending on who it's from and what the terms are. We had private money lender fund the purchase and the rehab of the deal. So we ended up buying it for $95,000. That's before and after the kitchen. So we opened up the wall, put in a brand new kitchen, cabinets, countertops, all that good stuff. Living room, obviously roof had some issues. Hardwood floors, all needed sanded, refinished.
Just a few issues then.
Patched some of the hardwood, refinished them. A lot of new drywall. Reran electric throughout the entire house. So looks a little bit better. The numbers on the deal, like I said, it was a $95,000 purchase, $85,000 rehab. Put it on the market for $239,900. Sold it in 4 days, I think, on the market. At list price. After paying lenders back and staging and all that other stuff, we ended up netting about $40,000 on the deal. And that's the outside once it's finished. So new roof, new windows, new paint, landscaping. Nice blue tarp isn't on there anymore. So what I learned from the home, so we listed this house November 28th or something. It was supposed to be done 2 weeks before that, ran over budget over time. I really wanted it on my 2016 tax returns. So we got a buyer, and I kind of got too overly invested in them. Gave up a ton of money on the remedy, a lot of money in concessions. At a day, 2 hours before closing, tried to get more money out of me. It closed December 30th, so it happened. I could have probably made an extra 10 grand if I waited until 2017. If it wasn't that date, I would have moved on to the next buyer. So don't get too caught up with the first buyer. Always show the house, let realtors show them for a backup offer. So in the case of someone does try to pull you over, you can say, forget you and move on to the next person. At the end of the day, if you put out a nice product, I mean, it's going to sell, especially in this market. I mean, there's really no question about it. And that is it.
Before time for just a couple of questions, does anybody have a question for Austin about his deal?
So how long was it from your close when you bought it to the ending that's
I think it was about 4 months. The rehab was about two and a half. About a month and a half to 7. I think 4 months.
Okay, one more question over here.
And how important was it that you worked with a private investor on that deal?
Very important. I mean, it gave us access to the money. Closed it in 7 days. Didn't have to go through bank financing. So it was very good.
What kind of vetting did you do of the buyer when you got the contract? Any at all? Just take the pre-approval, or did you call the mortgage broker? Did you do anything with that?
So they had a pre-approval letter, called the mortgage broker. They can only divulge so much information. So just tried to pick his brain as much as possible. He was very unsharing of the information, which he should be. Sounded good, ended up closing it. It wasn't the easiest transaction, but we made it to the closing table.
Did a lot of work in 4 months. How big of a group, may I ask, did you have in that?
So I got 3 GCs that work on various different projects. That GC, I think, has a 3-man crew, but he subs like the windows, he subbed out, the roof he subbed out, the tile he subbed out, the electric he subbed out. So his crew's not that big, but he's got a lot of subcontractors working with him.
You'll see that to redo the whole house rewiring.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh,
All
sorry.
right, make it a quick deal.
Okay, so you said that it was your 6th letter to this person that they responded to? So I wanted to know how you were cycling through, when you're mailing your letters. Is it every 6 weeks you do another one? Is it letter, postcard, or letter, postcard, letter, or what are you doing?
So every campaign's different. They get something new every time, and it's anywhere from a week to 6 weeks apart. It just depends on the campaign it's going to.
Thank you so much, Austin.
Thank you.